It can happen. You forget to pay your malpractice premium, or your office manager makes a mistake. And all of a sudden, it's 6 months later and you realize that you have no malpractice coverage. You're accidentally bare. Now what? In today's episode, we're going to talk about what you should do if you find out that your malpractice insurance has lapsed and you're uninsured. We'll give you the immediate steps to take to try and secure new coverage and give you 4 tips to help you ensure that this never happens again. Stay tuned. Welcome to Malpractice Insights, the show dedicated to helping healthcare professionals understand medical malpractice insurance and providing you with the solutions you need so that you can get back to the work of practicing good medicine. My name is Jennifer Wiggins, CEO of Aegis Malpractice Solutions, and I'm so glad you've joined us today. If you're new to our channel, welcome. Thanks so much for being here. We release a new episode every week, both on YouTube and your favorite podcast streaming platform. So be sure to like and subscribe to stay connected. All right, let's jump in. It can be absolutely sickening to realize that your malpractice insurance has lapsed. And it can be for any number of reasons. Maybe you didn't get the bill, or you just got busy and forgot to pay it, or maybe you had someone else in charge of managing your coverage and they simply dropped the ball. Sometimes we even have doctors who let their coverage lapse intentionally because they weren't really seeing any patients at the present time and they didn't think they needed it. But the problem is, if you let your malpractice insurance lapse, it can cause major issues for you and leave you potentially exposed more than you might think. If you had a claims-made malpractice insurance policy and you let the coverage lapse without buying tail, not only are you uninsured at the present time, but you're also uninsured for any prior work that you've done all the way back to your retroactive date, even if you paid that premium for years and years. Each claims-made policy has a retroactive date listed. This retroactive date is the date that your insurance policy covers you back to. So if your insurance policy had a retroactive date of March 1st, 1990, that policy covers you for any potential claims made for the services that you rendered all the way back to that date. So if you let your policy lapse without securing tail, you're not covered for any of the work that you've done all the way back to March 1st of 1990. And that's a really big deal. If you try to secure new malpractice coverage in the future, it's going to be a red flag to the underwriter if you have a significant gap in your insurance history. So, what should you do if you find out that you're accidentally bare? You should immediately contact an agent to discuss the situation. Be honest about what happened, even if you let it lapse on purpose. Depending on the reason or the circumstances at play, there may be some options to request special accommodations to reinstate your coverage. If you've been with the same insurance carrier for many years and never really had an issue with late payments in the past, and this was simply an oversight, chances are they'll be willing to reinstate your policy. If you're not able to have your old policy reinstated, the agent will have to go to market to look for replacement coverage for you. Be sure to provide as much information as you can on what kind of insurance you had before, when it was canceled, and any other noteworthy items. Understand that your options may be limited. If too much time has passed, the number of insurance carriers willing to pick up this exposure will be few. And any replacement coverage may or may not cover you for the entire period that you've been bare. The longer that you're bare, the harder it will be for you to find replacement coverage that matches what you had before. Sometimes we'll have a situation where a doctor has been uninsured for 6 months, and the new carrier is not willing to backdate their policy any more than 30 to 60 days. If this happens, you'll still have a small period of time where you're going to be uninsured. So that is a risk for you going forward. But if you are able to secure new replacement coverage, or have your old policy reinstated, the insurance carrier will likely ask you to sign what's called a no known loss statement. This is a document signed by you in which you represent to the best of your knowledge that you are not aware of any adverse events or claims that may have occurred between the time that your policy canceled and the time that you're applying for reinstatement. In addition to the no known loss statement, the carrier will likely require you to pay all past due premiums or charge you a rate that accounts for the additional exposure that they're going to be picking up. It's important for you to know that your options will indeed be limited when you're looking for a carrier to pick up coverage for you over a gapped period of time. The best malpractice insurance carriers have pretty strict underwriting guidelines, and oftentimes they won't offer coverage for these types of situations. There are, however, several non-standard insurance carriers that are willing to pick up hard-to-place business or to cover doctors in a distressed situation. But the coverage that is issued through non-standard carriers is generally more limited in nature. For example, most non-standard carriers do not offer occurrence coverage. They only have claims made. And they typically have a hammer clause, which means that the policyholder does not get consent to settle. Non-standard malpractice insurance is also more expensive. So not only are you going to have a more limited policy, but you're also going to be paying a higher rate. For most providers, coverage in the non-standard market is temporary and is seen as kind of a rehab period while they get back on their feet. You may have to stay with that non-standard carrier for a period of time before you're able to move back into the standard market. Assuming you pay your premiums and there are no other issues with your coverage, most doctors are able to switch back to a more competitive coverage option within a few years. So, how do you make sure this doesn't happen again? Here are 4 tips to leave you with today. Tip number 1, pay your premium in full if you can. This ensures that your coverage is paid up for the entire year and you don't have to worry about it again until your next renewal. Tip number 2, if you must pay in installments, set up auto payment when possible to ensure that you never miss a payment. Many carriers now have online payment portals and auto pay features that will debit your bank account or credit card on a set schedule. Tip number 3, make sure your office manager or your administrator understands the risks to you if your coverage lapses. This is one of the most important protections that you have as a healthcare provider, and it is a pain in the neck if you accidentally let your coverage lapse. So make sure they know that they're diligent about handling your malpractice coverage appropriately. And tip number 4, work with an independent agent to give you an additional set of eyes to ensure that you don't miss a payment or have any other issues with your coverage. Your agent will be kept in the loop if you have a missed payment or any other issues with your coverage, so they can help you stay on track and assist you with any other questions that you have with your policy throughout the year. If you have any questions on this topic or you want to make sure that you're covered appropriately, click the link in the description box below where you can connect with us today via phone, email, or chat. And if you're listening, please visit us online at aegismalpractice.com. That's AEGIS malpractice.com. We have some great episodes lined up for you in the next few weeks. I hope you found this one helpful. If so, could you do me a favor and give us a like and leave a review? And be sure to subscribe to our show so that you can catch our next installment of Malpractice Insights, where we're dedicated to helping you understand medical malpractice insurance and providing you with the solutions you need so that you can get back to the work of practicing good medicine. This is Jennifer Wiggins. Thanks for joining us.